Look at this face. Texture, dignity. Now look at this one. Smooth, tight. But does it look good? Or does it look scary? Somewhere along the line, Hollywood decided aging was a disease. But the cure looks worse than the sickness. Women are destroying their faces in the name of beauty. But why? The answer isn't vanity or psychology, because it goes much deeper. When you connect the dots, a clear picture emerges that goes beyond the physical. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. First, you need to understand how we got here, because what's really happening won't make sense until you see the machinery that created it. Rewind to 1949. Marilyn Monroe gets a tiny chin implant. That was Hollywood cosmetic surgery for decades, subtle tweaks kept carefully secret. By the 1970s, Betty White gets a discreet eyelid lift at 45. She doesn't tell anyone for 30 years, because back then, there was still shame attached. Stars like Katharine Hepburn wore their years openly and remained icons because of it. But then, everything changed. April 2002, the FDA approves Botox for cosmetic use. Suddenly, freezing your face wasn't surgery, it was maintenance. An injection during lunch, no judgment. And once that door opened, it never closed. In 2003, dermal fillers hit the market. Plump your lips, sculpt your cheeks, fill every hollow that time had carved. And unlike Botox, these changes stacked, layer after layer, visit after visit. By the 2010s, the procedures weren't just accessible, they were expected. HD cameras exposed every pore. Instagram filters set impossible standards. Plastic surgeons started whispering, preventative work. Why wait until 60 for a facelift when you could start maintaining at 35? Women in their late 20s now get the procedures their mothers got at 60, not to look younger, but to never look older in the first place. But the thing is, these procedures compound. One injection leads to another, because once you start, your baseline shifts. What used to look normal now looks tired. So you go back, again and again. And somewhere in that cycle, you stop looking like yourself. You look expensive, maintained, optimized, but not human. You start to look like an alien. Faces push so far beyond natural proportions that they trigger visceral discomfort. The overstuffed pillow face, the cat eye brow lift, the Russian lip technique. Jamie Lee Curtis puts it plainly. We've wiped out a generation of natural human faces, she says. Women are disfiguring themselves, chasing an ideal that doesn't even exist in nature. Only on screens, only in filters. Look at any red carpet today. Actresses of all ages all have the same face. Same smooth forehead, same taut jawline, same plumped cheeks, same vacant expression. Different women, identical masks. But why? Why would brilliant, successful, powerful women do this to themselves? Real quick, I want to thank all of my new subscribers. Every like and subscribe helps the channel grow more than you think. There's one more thing you have to know about the minds of these individuals before I explain what's happening at the deepest level. Most of them don't see what we see. They're psychologically damaged. Body dysmorphic disorder affects the majority. These women look in the mirror and see flaws that don't exist. Every wrinkle is magnified. Every sag feels catastrophic. So they fix it. And for a moment, they feel better. But then the relief fades. The mirror becomes the enemy again, and they need another fix. It's addiction, not just to surgery, to relief from the terror of being seen as old. And they're surrounded by people who enable it. Friends who've had the same work done. Agents who book younger actresses. Surgeons who profit from every visit. In that bubble, the scary look becomes normal. So when they see their own transformation, they don't see a problem. They see themselves keeping up. Actress Courtney Cox admitted she didn't realize how strange she looked until years later. I didn't see it, she said. But most don't stop, because stopping means falling behind. And in Hollywood, falling behind means disappearing. Aging often means career death. Roles dry up after 40. And for some, the surface fear of disappearing can be the spark that drives them to extremes. To alienized faces, to vacant stares and looking like everybody, but nobody at the same time. But even that doesn't explain the true depths of what's happening. Because this is about something much darker. Here's where all the pieces of the puzzle come together. Because this isn't really about aging, it's about mortality and a spiritual war waging beneath the surface. When you've spent your entire life believing that this body, this face, this material world is all there is, aging becomes the countdown to your annihilation. If you don't believe in anything beyond the physical, then what are you? No soul, no deeper purpose, you're just flesh, and flesh decays. Every wrinkle is a death sentence. Every gray hair is evidence that you're running out of time. And if this life is all you have, if your body is all you are, then watching it age is watching yourself disappear. That's the real horror driving these women to mutilate themselves. They've lost touch with anything deeper. They're trapped in materialism, worshiping the vessel while the contents rot away. And Hollywood is the temple of that worship. These women have no anchor beyond their appearance, no spiritual foundation, no belief that they're more than what they see in the mirror. So they become slaves to their reflection, to the surgeon, to the needle, to anything that promises to delay the inevitable. Did you know studies show that Botox doesn't just paralyze your face, it paralyzes your ability to feel and express emotion. When you freeze your face, you're severing the connection between your inner self and outer expression. You're killing the signal that your soul sends to the world. The lights are on, but nobody's home. Not metaphorically, literally. Look at their eyes, the before photos. There's warmth, presence, life. And after, vacancy, a shell, a beautiful corpse that hasn't stopped walking yet. This is what happens when materialism becomes your religion. When you worship youth, beauty, and the physical, you'll sacrifice anything to keep it. Your authenticity, your humanity, and your soul. And the tragedy is that now they wear their desperation on their faces. The alienized look, the frozen expressions, the vacant stares. These aren't just bad cosmetic work. They're the mark of spiritual bankruptcy. They've sold themselves to materialism. And their faces, those hollow, identical, lifeless faces, are the receipt. They look like everyone and no one. Prototypes, worshippers at the altar of flesh, all bearing the same mark. But here's the thing they don't understand. The wrinkles they're so terrified of, they're not signs of death, they're signs of life. Proof that you've laughed, cried, loved, and lived. But if you can't see beyond the flesh, then those lines become unbearable reminders that your time is running out. And that terror consumes everything. This is the spiritual war we're watching. Not fought with weapons, but with needles, scalpels, and fillers. A desperate, doomed battle against nature, against time, against mortality itself. And they're losing, one frozen face at a time. But this isn't inevitable. You don't have to worship at that altar. Pamela Anderson, the poster girl for 90s perfection, walked away from it all. No Botox, no fillers, and most days, not even makeup. Chasing youth is futile, she said. You're never going to get there. So why not just embrace what's going on? She found something those other women haven't. Peace. Not with looking young, but with being more than just her body. Jamie Lee Curtis, Helen Mirren, Andie MacDowell, all examples of women rejecting the religion of materialism. And you know what happens then? The spark comes back, the warmth, the presence. Because when you stop worshiping the vessel, the contents can finally shine through. Audrey Hepburn said it best. Happy girls are the prettiest girls. Not perfect, not ageless, not frozen, just happy. Because happiness comes from something deeper than the surface, from knowing you're more than what decays. In a world trapped in materialism, in an industry that demands you sacrifice your soul for your skin, choosing to age naturally isn't just rebellion, it's fighting the good fight. So, if you made it this far, I honestly want to know, do you think our culture's obsession with youth and vanity is getting worse, or are we finally starting to wake up? Drop your honest thoughts in the comments, because the most radical thing you can do in 2026 is remember that you have a soul.